Hello, and welcome to this very special Hanukkah celebration. I'm Gary Adickman, chair of JDC's former Soviet Union Executive Committee and co-chair of today's event. Today we'll have the opportunity to celebrate Hanukkah together and hear from young voices across the former Soviet Union, an emerging generation of Jewish leaders, something unimaginable just a couple of decades ago. The building of a community of Jewish teens in 11 countries across 11 time zones is truly inspiring. And it's a stirring example of what JDC has been able to accomplish since the collapse of the Soviet Union. The renewal of Jewish life in countries like Moldova, Belarus, Russia, Ukraine, and more is nothing short of a miracle. And I'm so proud to be involved with JDC, the global Jewish humanitarian organization. I've been lucky enough to see this work in action across the FSU, and it never fails to take my breath away. Not one of the more than 3,200 teens who participate in AJT has a parent who had anything like this program when they grew up. Our teens are pioneers, the first of their kind. We've changed the Jewish story completely in this part of the world, and we've done it in just one generation. I will always remember attending the November 2019 Active Jewish Teens Conference, the opening ceremony, the dancing and singing of teen leaders on stage, and the clapping and cheering of an audience of hundreds of Jewish teens. A bit deafening, but so exciting. And I'll never forget the ruach of Kabbalah Shabbat, as together song leaders and those same AJT teens brought in the holiness of the Sabbath with joyful song. Moments like that always remind me why we must continue to invest in and support this new cohort of teen leaders. They're counting on us. And I'm so excited for you to meet them as we spend the next hour together. I'm glad you'll also get the chance to see the connection we make between developing young Jewish leaders and safeguarding the welfare of the Jewish elderly in their communities. Stay tuned and you'll discover the caring, intergenerational Jewish community we are building in the FSU and around the world. But first, I'm pleased to welcome my friend, a fellow JDC board member, and my partner as the co-chair of today's event, Lori Rosenblatt.
Thanks, Gary. It's a pleasure doing this important work together, and even better, it's fun. Before I say a few words, I'd like to invite you to use the chat box to share your favorite Hanukkah tradition. As you will see later, my family likes to create as many sparks as possible, and each of our 4 kids lights a separate menorah. The teens you'll meet today are full of energy and optimism. They're an investment in the future of Judaism in the former Soviet Union. In each of the cities where AJT operates, its teenagers have become key engines for Jewish renewal in their communities. They have explored their Jewish identity, participated and led community events, and created a lasting impact. Most recently, these active Jewish teens were asked to step up and assist with helping their communities navigate the pandemic. They prepared meals, manned phones, volunteered their time, their kitchens, and even their cars, and they delivered, both literally and figuratively. AJT is a story the whole Jewish world should know and celebrate. You'll soon see why I'm so passionate about this part of the world and these amazing young adults. Hanukkah speaks of the power of hope and potential of generating sparks of light, even in dark times. Now, more than ever, it's important to remember the miracle of Hanukkah and the strength and power of the eternal flame. I'm delighted to celebrate this first day of Hanukkah together, so...
Welcome everyone, we're so glad to see you this magical night.
Welcome to everyone joining us today from JDC, the Jewish Federation, VBYO, and Genesis, and from all over the global Jewish family. We're so excited to spend this special Hanukkah night tonight with you, and thank you for all of your support. Yasha, we'll have time for that later, okay, honey?
Okay.
So my AGT story began in 2016 when I first thought that I was going to Odessa for 3 days to have fun with my friends, but it turned out to be an AGT seminar. And the more new things I did, the more I wanted new opportunities, new knowledge, new people. And at that time, I thought it was all about the fun, emotions, and experience. But looking back, I understand that AGT altered my life significantly. And even currently, I'm choosing my career path due to AGT. And now I'm studying international relations because AGT taught me that I can change and shape my community the way I see it, and I have the tools to do it. And now I want to take it global and change the world and make an impact.
So my AGT story began in Krasnoyarsk in 2015, where the Jewish Teen Club AGT was founded. And after that, I was involved in this small Jewish community life. I visited my first seminar in 2016 in Yekaterinburg. I set my own sport project, and after that I began to be a really active participant in AGT. I started working with AGT government, like a congressman of the Siberian region. After that, I moved to Moscow with my family and began the career of the president of AGT. And it gave me a lot of opportunities and a lot of energy to begin the person I am now, the coordinator and a program director in Moscow Teen Club Nikitsky Generation. And I use this energy of AGT to transform it to my teens and to bring them to be active members of the Jewish community.
So AGT has been around for 6 years, right? I wonder how it was in the beginning.
You know who would know? Alla Magas. She was there when it all started.
Hi there, my name is Alla Magas and I helped to found the movement Active Jewish Teens. We began in 2014 with some of teenagers from Ukraine. We had some meetings in GCC Kharkov, and after that we realized and understand that we want to build something bigger and stronger. We had a dream to connect all Russian speakers, Jewish teenagers around from the Soviet Union. And we did it. Today we have more than 3,200 teenagers around 63 cities in 7 countries. And all of them, they're really proud to be Jewish. They have their own project. They help Jewish community to be strong. And actually, I feel so proud to be part of this Jewish teen movement. And this is Hanukkah miracle. This is my miracle and Hanukkah miracle, because all of these teenagers, they sending light of Judaism and spreading this light to all communities around former Soviet Union. Hanukkah Sameach.
Это так круто находиться в комнате со стольким количеством людей из разных стран, которые объединены одной вещью — еврейством. Меня зовут Илья Толстолыткин, и я из города Харьков. Мы с мамой работаем вообще не вместе. Она работает в детском садике, а я являюсь мадрихом в подростковом клубе. Я помогаю ей в проведении шаббатов, праздников и всячески поддерживаю ее. У меня есть дедушка, бабушка и прабабушка. Они тоже клиенты Хеседа. Хесед помогает моей прабабушке в покупке продуктов. Я знаю, что мои бабушка и дедушка, будучи подростками, не имели такую жизнь в AGT, как у меня. Когда я думаю о том, что у бабушки и дедушки такого не было, мне становится как-то радостно, потому что за это все время вся эта еврейская платформа развилась до такого, что уже есть и BBYO, и AGT, и многие другие платформы. Я родился евреем, но приходя в AGT, я осознанно выбираю свою еврейскую жизнь. AGT — это только начало, впереди еще есть масса всего.
Ух ты, мне непривычно смотреть на это видео сейчас. Это было всего 3 года назад, но я на этом видео такой молодой. С тех пор произошло многое. Сейчас мне 17 лет. Я все еще вовлечен в жизнь подросткового клуба AGT в Харькове. AGT помогли начать мне свой лидерский путь и помогли укрепить связь с еврейской общиной. Несколько лет назад у меня даже была бар-мицва в Сарваше, международном летнем еврейском лагере в Венгрии. Это был незабываемый момент для меня, и я очень горжусь быть евреем сейчас. После того, как я научился многому у своих мадрихов и сотрудников в общине, я рад иметь возможность отдавать и работать с младшим поколением в общине. Одно из направлений, в котором я сейчас участвую как AGT, это Freedom, пилотная программа GDC, которая направлена на вовлечение детей с особыми потребностями в наши программы AGT. Здесь я подружился со многими ребятами, которых бы никогда не узнал в обычной жизни. Я научился многому, общаясь с ребятами, которые сталкиваются с уникальными сложностями, у которых совершенно другой жизненный путь, чем у меня. Скоро вы увидите моего друга Давида, и у вас будет возможность узнать его историю. Во время карантина я, конечно же, продолжил проводить время с AGT. Многие мои друзья проводят занятия и семинары. Многие делают это впервые, тем более онлайн, и я хочу поддержать их. И что еще более важно, я хочу оставаться в общине даже во время изоляции. Мне нравится волонтерить для пожилых людей, когда это возможно. Моя прабабушка, которая упоминается в видео, которое вы только что посмотрели, уже не с нами, но я чувствую связь с ней, когда посещаю других пожилых людей из общины. Я верю, что мое поколение чувствует ответственность и должно помогать старшему поколению, которое в моем случае прожило очень сложную жизнь. Наши визиты имеют большое значение для пожилых, и у них столько мудрости, которые они готовы делиться с нами. Я узнал много из таких визитов. Говоря о визитах, для нас очень важно, когда вы приезжаете в страны бывшего Советского Союза, чтобы познакомиться с нами. Это дает нам ощущение, что мы не одни. И так приятно видеть поддержку от всемирной еврейской общины. Но не верьте только моим словам. Давайте посмотрим короткое видео и послушаем тех в JDC, кто видел AJT в действии.
In 2018, I attended the AJT conference in Kiev. It was miraculous.
They squeezed into this room and sat in the aisles and stood in the back and stood up front playing the guitar.
There was about 500 young Jewish adults from all over the world jammed into a room that could probably fit about 300. And I thought at that moment, that's where I belonged.
It's really difficult to describe. It just sparked something inside of me. I can only say that it made my trip, and it will stay with me.
The situation brought tears to our eyes. It was amazing to see so many young people expressing Jewish values with such vibrancy, values that their parents and grandparents were probably afraid to express.
It was so encouraging to see 400-500 young men and women who come together from all over the FSU, talking about their various programs in their little towns and how they are making a better life for so many people.
Active Jewish teens are joyous team builders and leaders. They are conveyors of celebrated Jewish life.
They really sang the Shabbat songs from a place of deep wanting to connect and wanting to be part of something larger.
Through AJT, we have really succeeded in reawakening Judaism in a place where it was moribund and creating enthusiastic and proud Jews.
What I find so inspiring about AJT and the work of other JDC Young Leadership programs is that the future of Judaism in that part of the world is really on the shoulders of these young people.
Not only keeping it alive, but having it thrive is truly a miracle.
I'm so proud. I was so proud to be there as a part of JDC that has supported this effort and these young people bringing life to new communities.
All we can say is keep on going, grow stronger, grow better, and we love you.
One of the things I love about AGT is that there are so many different ways to get involved. You just heard about AGT Freedom, but there is also AG Torah, where Jewish learning, which you'll hear more about later, and my passion, music. When I listen to Jewish songs, I feel at home as a Jew. That's my identity, music. Being a song leader is a little bit more than being a president, coordinator of, or a director. These things are connected to the brain activity, but song leading is about the soul and spirit. It's a unique feeling of being like a small candle flame which lights all the people around him. Building connections through music makes me feel special, as I enjoy the sparks I see in the eyes of young Jewish people and their desire to sing more and more. So the song leader is a special musical shamash. Let's make this Hanukkah full with magical light, kindness, and happiness with my dear friend Eva Stupka from Moldova, my colleague song leader and also former AGT president, my beautiful friend. Eva, it's so good to see you.
Hi. As Yasha mentioned, my passionate about two things, music and AGT. 3 years ago, I would never have thought I could combine those two topics. But in March 2018, AGT came with a solution, a song leader seminar. And what was even better was that it was taking place in my hometown of Chisinau, Moldova. Teens from all over the FSU came to become song leaders in their communities. But at that time, we had no idea what that meant. BBOYO song leaders from the US helped teach us, and everyone who was on that seminar will tell you it was something unique. That's not just because the seminar was the first of its kind. It was also because of the atmosphere. We really felt like one community, totally together, totally united. I was 13 when for the first time I came to the JCC in Chisinau. Before that moment, I didn't know I was Jewish. In 2015, my Jewish journey started, and until today, I've continued to take an active role in my community. I visited Camp Starbush 3 times, and for 4 years, I've been worked to develop Chavirim, our local youth club, an AGT chapter. I visited lots of AGT seminars, and in 2017, I became co-president of AGT. That was a moment I will never forget. Because of it, I got so many chances to learn more from teens and to get inspired to change the world. AGT changed my life. And there are a few moments I scroll throughout my memory every day. One of those is the second AGT Song Leaders Seminar, where we came back together to study a new song in a new language, Ladino. It's called Kandelika, and it has powerful and sweet words about Hanukkah that's coming, candles that we're lighting, and dainty pastries we can eat. We sang that melody 5 times in a row, and no one wanted to stop. Hanukkah is my favorite holiday, so you can imagine how I was feeling. I want to share that feeling with you. Let's sing a small part of that song now. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda está aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Oh, candelitas, 2 candelitas, 3 candelitas, 4 candelitas, 7 candelitas, 6 candelitas, 7 candelitas, 8 candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas vou fazer com alegria e prazer. Muchas fiestas vou fazer com alegria e prazer. Oh, una candelica, 2 candelicas, 3 candelicas, 4 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 6 candelicas, 7 candelicas, 8 candelas para mí. That was a small part of one of my favorite songs. And just like miracles that happened in the Hanukkah story, lots of miracles are still happening today with our teens. We are happy whenever there is a chance for our partners from BBYO and Jewish Federation and Genesis to come to our events and to see us in action. We especially love when our American friends come to our agency conferences. I want to introduce you my friend Ben, who has a very interesting story to share.
My parents, every time I tell them something, they always want photos. They could have never imagined in their wildest dreams that one day I would be standing here with 400 other teens from the former Soviet Union and celebrating our Judaism. My name is Ben Lefkovich. I am 16 years old and my parents grew up in Ukraine. It's kind of crazy in my house. There's Hebrew, Russian, English all flying around. As long as I can remember, my parents were like speaking to me in Russian, and coming here I'm like, wow, thank you for my whole life teaching me Russian and making sure that it was part of who I was so that I would be able to connect like this one day. Dancing with hundreds of Jews and teens from across the former Soviet Union, there's adrenaline flowing through the air. It makes you feel so proud, and it's a great time for all of us. My whole life I've heard the experiences of my relatives that in Ukraine they couldn't tell people they were Jewish or they were treated differently because they were Jewish. But now coming here, it's helped me realize that this place has grown so much and the Jewish community has become so much stronger. And it's a place of life now and not one of death. It's important for Jews all across the world to realize that this is not a place of Judaism in the past. It is a place of Judaism in the present. No matter where we are, we have common traditions and we have a common goal to build and strengthen the Jewish future. We're in a time of rebirth for the Jews, and we see that every day.
I love my community here in Batumi, Georgia, right on the Black Sea, but there are only a few dozen Jewish teenagers here, and it can sometimes feel like we are all by ourselves. I want to be part of something bigger. That's why being part of AJT has opened so many doors for me. When you are at an AJT conference and the room fills up with hundreds of teenagers, dancing and singing and just so happy to be there, there is nothing like it. You know, you are not alone. This Hanukkah, I'm remembering how amazing it feels when we all get together and we know we're all proud to be Jewish and working for the same thing. And it's all still there, even if we can't gather in person, even while we're all under lockdown. Those happy memories can keep us going, and we can still remember that we are stronger together, even if Jewish life is virtual right now. Hag Sameach!
Rav Kook, the former chief rabbi of Israel before it became Israel, used to say that his life's mission was to renew the old and sanctify the new. I don't think that you could find a better slogan for what the JDC does. Renewing the old means finding people who have been forgotten, who've been lost in the chaos of life, supporting them, helping them, giving them back some of the dignity that they have lost. And sanctifying the new means discovering people who don't know about their own heritage, who somehow got robbed by history of the richness of our Jewish tradition, of our people, of our legacy. That the JDC does this makes it a unique organization worldwide. We renew the old. We sanctify the new. In the former Soviet Union, so many lives have been literally saved. So many lives have been made so much better because we have renewed the old. And so many young people, including teens, have rediscovered what it is to be Jewish because we have sanctified the new. I know you believe me, but just to prove it, let's listen to one of those teens right now.
My name is Anton Artemenko and I am 16 years old. I'm in 10th grade and I live in Murmansk, Russia. If I'm not mistaken, it is the northernmost Jewish community in the world. We are located about the Arctic Circle and it's about 16 hours north of St. Petersburg. When I was 6, I learned I was a Jew, but for a while it was just another word for me. I didn't know what it meant. When I started to attend community events, so I hooked. I fell in love with our traditions and began to visit our teen club more and more. In February, I learned about AGT from Jewish educator from St. Petersburg who was visiting us in Murmansk, and I was so excited to visit on AGT seminar and discover magic myself. But due to COVID-19, all in-person activities were cancelled and moved online. That didn't stop me, and I opened our AGC chapter, the newest one in former Soviet Union during the quarantine. One of my favorite things to do is the AGT Torah, where I teach my friends about Jewish holidays and Judaism at all. I remember how amazing it felt when I learned about all this time for the first time. And it's pretty cool to be teaching now. I hope you don't mind, I'll teach you about Hanukkah now. As for me, it's one of the most wonderful holidays because it brings me a lot of miracles. Hanukkah is not only about menorah story, it's also tell us about find our hearts and bring us unbelievable events in daily routine. Hanukkah teaches us to find light in the darkness. I mean, it's very powerful words on the time we are living in. I know the challenges of this year as well because my mom, brother and I all were diagnosed with COVID-19. I spent about a month in a hospital. Before the pandemic, I used to volunteer to visit elderly, but suddenly I was the one who needed help. But through it all, my AGT family was there for me. They cheering me up and helping me get stronger and better. Just like Hanukkah candles, they were the lights that helped me to keep going on and gave me a hope. I can't wait to see what come next for me, my friends, and everybody who involved in NGT across the former Soviet Union. I promise you, we will listen to the Hanukkah lesson and keep it in light in the world. and making it even brighter.
So it's evening now in Uzbekistan. Hak Sameach to everyone. And it's time for me to light my menorah. And today I am pleased to be joined by my lovely family. It's my dad, Avram, please. It's all live. It's my mom, Natalia, and it's my brother online from Kiev joining us. So we have a tradition in our family for dad to say the blessings. So you can just follow along or say amen at the end and go. And because we have all of you here with us and with all this amazing talk about community and coming together, I would like to introduce some friends all across the world. So from Minsk, Belarus, Yanita. Hi, happy Hanukkah. From Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, Andrew. Happy Hanukkah. And from Odessa, Ukraine, Liza. Happy Hanukkah. From Yekaterinburg, Russia, Mikhail.
Привет, everybody.
And from Kiev, Ukraine, Kate.
Hi everyone, happy Hanukkah.
And now let's go to the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu v'tzavanu le'adlik ner Chanukah. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sho'eseh nisim la'oseinu b'yomim ha'yom b'zman hazeh. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehiyanu v'kimanu v'yonu b'zman hazeh. Amen. Hanukkah Sameach. Hanukkah Sameach.
Thank you all for joining us. Your support is critical to ensuring this amazing work can continue. From my family and all of us at the JDC, happy Hanukkah. Oh, and I think Gary and his family have a message too.
Happy Hanukkah! Chag Sameach! I'm so glad we were able to celebrate Hanukkah with you and share a small piece of the AGT story.
As you know, AGT has changed everything for us, and that's why I'm so excited for all of you. Today is the first day of your AGT story, and I cannot wait to see what comes next for you. And for those of you who put most tzur in chat below when we asked for your favorite Hanukkah song, stay tuned for the best video from Jews all across former Soviet Union.
ושם תודה נזבח.
חנוכת המזבח, השיר מזמור, חנוכה המזבח. לחנוך לשבח, תיקון בית תפילתי, ושם תודה נזבח.
לתחים מטבח,
самая Ханука всем!